Hello everyone, today we are going to configure redistribution between EIGRP and OSPF routing protocols. So I have created a network diagram. So on the left side, the network in the blue is the EIGRP network, and the right side network in the green is the OSPF. So they are connected using this router, which is R2, and I have already assigned the IP addresses to all the devices. So let's get right into configuring the routing protocols and redistribution. So first let's go to R1. So we have to configure EIGRP on R1, which is connected to two networks, 10.0.0.0 and 192.168.10.0. So let's go ahead and configure it. So config terminal that router EIGRP and the process number, I'll just say 1, and then the network which we want to advertise, which will be the directly connected networks to this router. So it is 10.0.0.0, and then for EIGRP you have to use wildcard. So it's instead of the subnet mask, you use wildcard for advertising the network. So it's 0.0.0.3. That's the wildcard mask for /30, and then hit enter. Now let's do the network 192.168.10.0, and the wildcard would be 0.0.0.255. So that's it, EIGRP is done. Let's just save it and let's move to the second router. So the second router is connected to both the networks. On the left side it is connected to the EIGRP network, and on the right side it is OSPF. So what we have to do is, on this interface we will configure EIGRP, and for this interface we will configure OSPF. So for router 2 we need to only advertise the 10.0.0.0 network, because that's the only one that's directly connected to this router 2, and that is in EIGRP. We have 20.0.0.2 as well, but it is not for EIGRP. We will advertise it using OSPF. So let's just go config terminal router EIGRP1, and then network 10.0.0.0 wildcard mask 0.3. So as soon as you hit enter, you will see that the neighbor relationship is established with R1. So now they will start sharing the routing table and other data. So we have done EIGRP. Let's go ahead and do the OSPF now. So for this interface we need to do OSPF. So router OSPF process ID, again I will just do 1, then network. There is only one directly connected network for OSPF, so 20.0.0.0. Then wildcard, because OSPF also uses wildcard just like EIGRP. And then for OSPF you need to specify the area. So right now we are not doing any multi-area, so these all the whole network is in single area, so we'll just do that a backbone area or area 0. So just hit enter and that's it. Let's save it and go to router 3. So in router 3 we have two directly connected networks that are in OSPF. So let's configure them. Router OSPF1 network 20.0.0.0, then wildcard, and then area. And the other network is 192.168. Oops. That's the message for adjacency change, so yeah, that's fine. So network 192.168.20.0 0.0.0.255 area 0. Okay, so we configured OSPF and EIGRP, but we haven't configured redistribution yet. So if we try to ping from this PC to the other end, which would be 192.168.10.2, it will say destination host unreachable because the routers doesn't know how to get there, because these routes are not advertised to this side and this routes are not advertised on the other side. So let's go ahead and configure EIGRP, but before that let's just see the routing table on R3. So if we do show IP route, it will show us the routing table. So right now it is only showing two networks which are directly connected to the router. Because the router is not getting any advertised messages from EIGRP, there are only two networks that are displayed in the routing table. Same goes for R1. If we go here and do show IP route, it will also only have two. It's showing this D is for EIGRP because this is advertising this network to it, so it knows about 10.0.0.0, but there is no route to 20 or 192.168.20.0. So let's go on R2 and configure the redistribution. So for the redistribution we need to do it both ways. We need to redistribute EIGRP routes into OSPF and OSPF routes into EIGRP. So let's go ahead and first do EIGRP. So router EIGRP1, and then now what we want to redistribute into EIGRP, we want to redistribute the OSPF, right? So it would be redistribute OSPF, the process ID, then the metric, and it is asking like a number for the bandwidth. So EIGRP uses 5 different values for metric. It's a combined formula. So to make it simple here, because it's an example, we are not testing it in live environment or we don't have any special requirements about that, so we'll just keep all those metrics to 1. So 5 ones and then press enter. So it will redistribute OSPF routes into EIGRP. So now let's do it the other way. So router OSPF1, then go redistribute EIGRP, then the process ID, of course, which is 1, then metric. OSPF only has one metric, which is cost. So if you do a question mark, it will ask you here. So you can set it as per your requirement, but for this example we'll set it to 100. And then we need to add the word subnets. So what this does is, if you do not specify this word, it will only redistribute the classful network. It won't redistribute any classless network. So to redistribute classful and classless both, you need to specify this keyword at the end of the redistribute command. So press enter, and now they will redistribute each other's routes to other routers. So if we go to R3 now and do show IP route, the same command, we will see the route to 10.0.0.0 and 192.168.10.0, and they are specified as OSPF E2, which is external. So it is saying you that it has learned this route from an external protocol other than OSPF. So now if we go to this PC and try to ping the same host which we were trying, instead of saying destination host unreachable, it will now be able to reach it, because now the routes are being redistributed over to OSPF. So this router knows how to get to this network. Thank you.